afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing Propagandacast. Me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Sight, Defender of the Fatherland, off here to an exciting 2 vs 2 on Vaux Farmlands. A beautiful 2 vs 2 here. The Red Army is advancing over the Second Guards Mechanized Corps, poised to shatter the way to the through the German lines and hit Budapest in the west. It's Cblano and NOTStuveh fighting here for the Second Guards Mechanized Corps with Mechanized Support and possibly Severe Combined Arms, more Mechanized Support, which seems less likely, or Armoured Assault Tactics. Versus these, we got the brave defenders of the Reich here, the Felt and Halle Panzer Division with Alastor and Jove fighting together for the fatherland. We got their Spearhead, Blitzkrieg, and Jaeger Armor, Breakthrough, Fortifications and Spec Ops with mostly instability on both sides. Well, we got snipers and antagonist here for NOTStuveh, and a single one there for Jove as well. Jove's Sturm Party is rushing southwards there. Fortress following up here. In the north, we got Alastor's Grenadiers machine gun moving in there. We got Cblano with Armoured Assault, getting him a strategic advantage via the radio insert ability, having close idea what the Germans are doing. Of course, the question is, can he actually follow up with that sufficient? We got a double Strafniki start here, special rifle command start here from the rations. That'll mean lots of penal tubers. And turning on a map like this with this size, it also makes sense because we all follow up with the M38 scout cars, which again, map this size is actually reasonably powerful because they have a lot of room for maneuver. In this case, the NOTStuveh decides, you know what, I got better plans. I'm going to go for a sniper. NOTStuveh, you tricky bastard. Cblano, on the other hand, more of a conservatist, a conformist, goes for the M3A1 there. He's not going to go for any sort of, silly new wave ideas. He's just going to go what actually makes sense, which is, go for some high mobility on a map that's very big. We got more force going there for Joe, adding in a lot of infantry. We got there Cblano moving in the north. We got NOTStuveh moving in here against Alastor. His pioneers hiding out there behind a few butchers, possibly enjoying themselves a nice knockwurst. Forces there almost taking out the engineers, Strafniki moving up the scout car there, mobilized for Cblano and for the Red Army. Got more troops around there, probably trying to connect the points. See a fuel point already secured there by Jove's brave men. Sturm Pioneer so far not doing much, of course, much for a flank here. Scout car rolling ahead and right here, of course. Jove's in the situation actually doesn't have a lot of specific counters. The Sturm Pioneers can damage it reasonably well, but only one squad usually is not enough. You actually want 2 Sturm Pioneer squads to have a good chance. And there you go, by the way. Jove has gone for breakthrough, leaving actually now Alastor's the only one sort of standing out there. The odd one out, as they would say. There we go, scout car following me. In this case, Sturm Pioneers actually failed to make no impression at all on the scout car, which is actually quite impressive. Normally they actually have a reasonable good chance of penetrating, but somehow that one just shrugged off every single round flung at it. Grabbing in the points up north, we got the Grenadiers 74-2 defending the field point there against NOTStuveh's engineers. Sniper there falling back, he's going for more penals was there. Cblano with more Strafniki. So far so good. Back here we got Grenadiers that are being trained for him. For Jove, we got a further going on. Of course, he might be setting up for something else, maybe an officer, maybe a Panzerfusilier. We might be planning some fast take up into Mechanized Regiment or Battle Group Headquarters. But there you go. Cblano here switching northwards here to try and back up his faltering teammate NOTStuveh in the fight against Alastor and his northern fascists. Jove there following up like Kenneth up with any light vehicles that might prove to be an obstacle for, securing the German borders. In this case, the Hungarian borders, I guess. Munitions point there be secured. Jove is slowly moving northwards. They're still having some force moving south, but he's still edging northwards. They, of course, need to have not to leave himself too exposed to the scout car since they can very quickly punish you over there. But they will have to see what happens up there. Up farther north there. Alastor's now beginning to swing southwards. There looks like they'll be converging towards the centre there, but there you go. NOTStuveh here desperately trying to ensure that these 2 arms of the German army do not meet and cooperate. Again over there riding for Jove, very good. Alastor might be, he's tacked up already there. He's going to try and rush out here in this situation. Getting out some 2-2s is not a bad idea to help counter the sniper. And of course, deal with the M3A1, which is always going to be quite a pain there in both German players' collective arses. Like to make a nice company almost done here back in the Russian bases. We got no upgrades there. As of yet, no medics are being sent to the front line to provide vital first aid here to Cblano and NOTStuveh's beleaguered infantrymen. Or hard push, but probably better. Engineers are staying about, might be waiting for an upgrade or something else. As they're going for the 2-2 Leichte Panzer Speerwagen. Jove there's got a truck on the way. We'll see if it becomes mechanized or Battle Group Headquarters. Mechanized would make a lot of sense on the map this large. Looks could be quite potent. Puma could be quite potent. Though, of course, flak half attacks suddenly don't, perform poorly either. But to an extent, this does feel like a map that, feels almost made for the Mechanized ring. But there you go. Jove here, one of the few players that actually goes for the Sturm officer. Small, golf clap there from me in approval of that. Camp Corps headquarters there for Jove as well. An interesting choice there. Again, I would have figured Mechanized Regiment. It does tend to be very popular. And in particular, a large map like this, again, it did feel like it would make a lot of sense. But Jove here clearly has other plans, other designs for victory than what I'm imagining here. Scout killer running about. We got lots of people there covering up the retreat path there, trying to get a wipe in. But there you go. 2-2. And then straight into the range of the anti-tank searchers there. Oh! Oh dear. He's trying to get away. Oh, he's going to get covered in it. The best he can do now is actually try and stay close to the mech to get a wipe in. Oh! He only got Petrov. The rest of them managed to get away with it. Less good there, fellas. I mean, the 2-2 is down, but that was definitely not a 2-2-2. Oh, the infantry one is down, but not really a good trade-off for the 2-2-2. Great, though, for Cblano. Absolutely amazing. Stuveh now sending in troops there to the south. They're hitting a few mines there. A few legs crippled alongside some internal organs there. Sturm is there backing up the Sturmpioniere, forming up a nice Sturmgruppe. Shoot harder! Aim correctly! Nein, Ludwig, you don't aim with sight into the rifle. In fact, you might blow off your own head. I don't get where he gets here with these people. There you go. Lots of troops are concentrated again. Just lots of firepower here. So Sturm officer boosts all of these troops. You could just further, try and mark a target. But there you go. We got Gassman on the way for Stuveh. Calling in some hardened men who have seen much action across the eastern front. Sturmparts are moving about. They're full to the Sturm officer here. Moving forward towards the centre here. The German army stressed that the officers should generally lead from the front and by example, putting a lot of effort in that. Of course, gave them some tactical advantages, but of course, it also rather resulted in rather high casualties amongst the officers and rather, high turnover rates, which they rather struggled with as the war went on to maintain. Penals were then almost getting wiped out, and we got Panzerfusil on the way there for Jove. There we go. Penals was actually wiped out. It looks like Cblano wasn't paying attention. I mean, the fighting is starting to getting a bit messy there with players sort of all over the place. So, again, when you're sort of doing it like that, there's sort of the risk of something going wrong and you're losing track of what's going on and you just get, them wiped. Alastor's going to do not miss a chance to pick up the anti-tank rifle in case of some other Russian-like vehicles. Stormers are backing things up. Machine gun moving in. There we go. Quick mark target on the guard. Oh, did he actually use the on the engineers? I think that's actually what he did there. He basically tried to ensure he actually got a wipe there, rather than trying to win engagement. Otherwise, that's an actually pretty interesting choice. And I think it might have been the correct one overall, since again, in particular with engineers, if Stuveh wants to take up, he has to get replacements. So that really just slows down Stuveh overall. Whereas with the Guardsmen, he wouldn't be necessarily getting a wipe there. So actually, that was a pretty clever decision there. Sturm Pioneers with the Strafniki ground the northern victory point fuel point against someone that's been claimed here by the Russians, or claimed in the first place. Jove already taking up, probably going to be the spare punted quarters. Taking advantage of the initial field advantage the Germans had over the Russians. Machine gun out there for Alastor. Back here, Jove healing, reinforcing. Sturmpionier dealing with the cannon here with the Strafniki. Sniper Guardsman hanging about, grabbing the field point, or northern point. They're not a field point. That would be, I think, a bit deceptive. We got Telemines down here, obviously anticipating some sort of light vehicle play. Cblano building up fuel cache to support him and his teammate. Very good play then, particularly seeing the Germans did give a fuel advantage over them. This could certainly be something that could help them sort of compensate for that in the longer run. So very nice work there by Cblano. Very nice. His sources taked up. He can rush out T-70 right about now, which is going to be a bit of a problem there for the Germans. Panzerfusil versus Strafniki being a bit outnumbered there by Cblano's penal troopers. We got supporting infantry from Jove with more forces arriving there to back up the Panzerfusilier. Hold up here behind a small strip of sandbags, and we got engineers going to try and clear them out. Cblano, they're going for the T-70. Stuveh, not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Alastor, meanwhile, taking advantage of the northern disruption to just sweep through there, and will now be pressuring both Stuveh and Cblano around the centre. That's a bit ugly for them. T-70's going to be desperately, and there you go. Stuveh finally taking up. He'll probably go for T-70s as well. And they'll probably try and make use of both of those to then swing the game around. Alastor here anticipating such a move is going for the Panzer Kanone 40 and of course the previously displayed Telemines. Telemines when you expect it. not so unexpected visitors of the armoured kind. Yeah, I always like to lay out mine teller mines in the morning. Saturdays, Russians really get ticked off. After the defender in the centre victim on probably to retreat, there's a good likelihood he's going to end up dead. Machine gun, they're backing up. Note, by the way, the machine gun here gets the benefit of the officer's bonus as well, so that becomes even more lethal with the officer. Cheeky. Grab the centre victory point here, Russian streaming in. We got the T7 there moving in here. Firstly, Cblano can go for the T7 now, but of course also consolidation 6 to ward off enemy armour. And looks like Alastor's having the same thoughts here as his opponent. Going for a fuel cache as well, so despite again they have the fuel advantage. I mean, getting a fuel cache is further strengthens it, so I mean that also makes sense. And the tanks are being rushed by the T70. This is pretty bad. Penal troop as well there. Baquette for running away, but there's a good chance here the Pack 40 does get wiped. But can they get away with it? Of course, could be the other question here. Using the sandbags to basically block off a pursuit. Rather cheeky move there by Alastor. Cheeky move. Northern victory point being seized. Russians there taking advantage of the folks in the centre of the north, but they are losing ground in the south. As Alastor, or Joe, I mean, can also play that game. And there he goes, Stu again for T7. That means we're going to see 2 T7s on the battlefield here. A lot of light armour. Back here, troops setting out. Support crop there for Alastor. Straight for the Volksgrenadiere. And an ND-34 there for Jove. Clearly understanding the importance of suppressive fire against the advancing Russian hordes. In the centre they're moving in. Northwards, Alastor sitting in with a slow counter-attack here. Forced to rout here in the south due to the T-70's presence. Cblano is showing no signs of slowing down. And there he goes, Struve is about to turn up the temperature as well there with a T-70. And alrighty, Cblano isn't building not 1 but 2 fuel caches. Really sort of trying to catch up, but I think also trying to get ahead of the Germans in terms of fuel, push out a lot of tanks. A definitely interesting move there. Could of course mean a lot of T-35s, or a reasonably well-timed IS-2. And of course also means Struve can go for a bunch of armour and, you know, set up for an ISU. Possibly. Or just go for a lot of T-70s now and still have a tank out on reasonable good pace. I mean, there's a lot of options here that having 2 fuel caches up like this can bring. Gun is getting off a slight hit with anti-tank rifle pinging the sidearm of the T-70, moving straight for the M4-2, flanking up behind Alastor's force here. As he pushes with the fuel point, nice flank there by Struve. Very good tactical read on the situation, though he is playing a bit cautiously there. Doesn't want to risk getting a Panzerfaust and say taken out with a Pack 40. Good situation away from there with, say, by Struve. Finally, so got people coming up here against the Volksgrenadier Sturm Pioneers. Quick cycle charge off there. Joe, though, lacily dodges it. And Panzer IV there for Alastor, getting out the first armor there. And Jove can actually go for a Panzer IV. No, actually, he could save up for a Panther, but with the current timing, it's not like they have to worry about a ton of enemy armor. The larger kinds of the Panzer IV makes a ton of sense. Good as the T-70s. Infantry. Plus will force a certain attack response anyway, so can be useful there at least for some degrees. T-70 pushing back the Sturm Pioneers, so that'll be a lot of Panzer force here that Struve and Cblano have to deal with. Mines for them would be pretty great, and additional anti-tank weapons, though noting of course neither has support weapon companies. They can't bring up field guns, they're going to have to rely on their issuing 6s at least for now. And anti-tank rifles, unless they want a back tech, or they could try and rush ahead for, say, medium armor tank destroyers, but they got the Panzer IV there for Alastor. Fuel cache was being taken out here by the guards from the penal troopers, but there you go, Panzer IV to the rescue. Struve here is really trying to take out that fuel cache to slow down the German fuel income. In the end, though, is routed since going away. And there you go, second Panzer IV there arriving here for the German army, bringing in those Panzers. And we do note that here that Cblano has back-tech and is in fact bringing up these SIS-3 field guns. We'll have to see how many he ends up with, but in this case 2 would probably not be a bad idea unless again he's going to take out fast. Cblanco Pro wants to try and rush out a T-35 at this stage, as the T-35 is quite, you know, well situated to take on the Panzer IV and fight it at a very cost-effective level. In fact, it has an advantage there. But looks like Cblanco is not quite of that chain of thought, at least not for now. And it could of course be the field gunners there to stall, either for the T-35s or to the IS-2. So we'll see what ends up with there, though, for Cblanco. Stuveh there, I mean, could consider Nation 6 maybe? I mean, so could Cblanco. Will provide some additional mobile anti-tank support here versus the fascist panzers, as they roam about here, the fields of Vaux. Grad. T-turning southwards, they're going to try and rush in there. We got the Panzer dealing with the Pilgrims moving in, anti-tank rifles in hand, trying to get a satchel off, but instead are suffering quite gravely, and so the other Pilgrims there from Stuveh. Alastor claiming the north here once more for the German army and the German peoples, and Stuveh has back-checked as well here. Both are committing to field guns. Quick barrage, there we go. 2/5 of the entire unit blown to bits, and another one. That was one hell of a barrage there for just 35 munitions. That is a lot of value there. And this is 3 field gun is generally quite lethal when it barrages. I've certainly lost quite a few units just firing a single shot, and he just somehow lands and wipes an entire unit. Quite unpleasant. Fumes the big pushbacks. Pioneers on the way there for Alastor. As could push for another Panther 4. He could also try and go for tier 4 and, you know, pull out Panthers and Sturm Panzers here. That's going to be one way of trying to sort of establish dominance and possibly show it off. T7 blasting away, no anti-tank weapons nearby. Oh, there we got the field gun there, though. In this case, these 2 haystacks are largely obstructing its field of fire, which is this ground there, and probably a bit of an oversight there by Cblanco. Troops are being blasted by the Panzer IV. Engineers bringing for the victory point, and the Russians are a bit behind. And we got triple field guns for Cblanco being planned. I would say that's a bit aggressive. I mean, admittedly, again, it could just be part of this. The map is really, really big, and of course, anymore. But then again, then the argument would be you go for the tank source assault guns to be able to cover things more swiftly. But seems like Cblanco is very much a triple assist man. Oh, he thinks that the 3 means he needs to get 3 of them. But come lad, it says 3. I have to get 3. No, that's not. I have to. Never mind. Panzer rolling in there and then roaming through the fences. Cblanco needs to get away fast. Second field gun there ready, and he seems very much committed to triple field guns. Which means the Russians will have a total of 4 cis-3s. 1 for Stuveh and 3 for Cblanco. There we go. Wiped out the knees of the Panzer IV. Great work by Jove. Could go for another Panzer IV. No, could set for the Panther, and he does go for another Panzer IV here. Feeling confident in the might of the Panzerkampfwagen 4. As for on Jove, which was the last model of Panzer IV before the war ended. Seasonally pushed back by the Grenadiers. Alice is not going for anything else, which I think, I mean, considering what he's got there, I think it's going to end up with either Spearhead or Jaeger armor to then commit to an Elephant or to a Tiger tank. And so far, figuring the old situation and playstyle, I'd probably wager a guess at Tiger tanks. I mean, they're far behind, they're under a lot of pressure from the Russians, a lot of tanks, a lot of big stuff. I think Alice would be more likely to go for Jaeger armor, but with the sort of current situation where to an extent they do have a lead, and also just, you know, the Russians do not have a ton of tanks, I suspect Alice is more likely to try and play for a Tiger tank. Cblanco in hot pursuit. Not far off here. We cancelled the field gun there, he's lost one. Otherwise, he's only got 2 at the moment. That's a brief. Yeah, he's only built 2 in the end, so he cancelled the third one, possibly having been a bit too zealous in his demands for cis-3s and got a bit too enthusiastic here with his clicking. Up north, they can't attack. They reclaim the northern points once more from the Red Army. Lots of back and forth between Alastor and NOTStuveh. Like a highly lethal waltz. That's also kind of indecisive. Because everybody's wearing these really big, impractical wigs. So they can't really see what they're doing. Positive appearance from the south, more guards than that for NOTStuveh. Bits of trees suddenly went flying very aggressively. I think that might have been the fence. Possibly part of some sort of electoral thing there.
We have 200 points remaining.
Panzer rolling in, closing in veteran 2-1. Double Panzers engaging Strafniki. Shots fired there, Panther Force moving up. Comes to the firing rate, the Panther Force need to move in there. Shots fired at the front armor from the SIS-3. Good coordination there between Alastor and Jove with their Panzers. As for the rations, no further take up again. Cblano's not stalling for the Aston. Seems like NOTStuveh is stalling for the ISU, but he's certainly the one sort of, I would say, farther off from being able to achieve that. And probably should be taking up or bringing up something else on the field. Ooh, it is in the very, very close in fact to the termite. It's right next to it. Yuri, I have a great feeling about this place. Like we could never die. No matter what. No matter... Oh, thank heavens, Yuri. I spotted that in time. Otherwise, with the dead, I always knew this place was dangerous. Good thing you're a mute, Yuri. Otherwise, you'd actually be able to, talk back to me. That was damn close there for NOTStuveh. And he just probably seemed to forget about the Tellermine. Outstanding. Oh, gets off. One hell of a satchel charge there. Thorsky there gets it off. Knocking out Alastor's Panzer IV. But he's also... yeah, he's stalling there for the Tiger tank. I would say perhaps a bit too enthusiastically. Fragmentation bombing run. Note here, in this case, I would say the angle is... oh, he's calling in the center. Supporting here, it seems Jove's defense, but gets a field gun crew, splatters across the ground, and NOTStuveh is going for another T-70 here. I mean, it's clear against stalling, but I'm not entirely sure that's the best way he's doing it. Either way, though, double T-70s there for NOTStuveh. That's going to be quite aggressive. Possibly emboldened there by the distraction of the Panther 1 South. Jove's moving about there. He does have two Panther Forces. Got points that cut off. They did obliterate, I believe, one of Cblano's penal troops there for that transgression against the Reich. Field guns shattering houses. The German armor rule seems to be on the defensive against NOTStuveh and Cblano and the same guards mechanized corps. Another anti-tank satchel there almost takes out another Panzer IV there. NOTStuveh's second T-70 almost done here, straight to the heavy machine gun fire. The repulsors there. NOTStuveh's attack, ensuring they cannot push any further. German in his Panzer IV towards the center. He needs to buy time. He needs to stall the rations. He needs to kill as many as possible until further reinforcement is brought up. Without, of course, losing any more units. There he goes, getting hit by the satchel charge. Oh, scheiße. He's blitzing, he's already taking heavy damage, and there we go. Nearby terrain obliterate. Panther IV is barely operable, but it is still somewhat operable. Impressive work with that officer. 19 kills. Great work there by Jove to make use of it. And there you go, Cblano calling in the IS-2. The Joseph stalling 2 tank. NOTStuveh is not too far from the ISU either. Alastor is close to the Tiger tank. Jove is... I'm not entirely sure what he's close to wanting to do. If it's actually the Yak-T going to what. He's just going to go for more Panther IVs or Panthers or whatever. He's going there to go for more Panther IVs. ISU, they're rolling ahead here for Cblano and the same guys mechanized corps, adding the dish cut 50 cal machine gun there being added to the top. Well, 12.7 millimeters, but that's roughly 50 calibers actually. Fun fact. Third Panther almost done. You will see if he actually keeps going for it once the IS-2 arrives. He's going to go for a Panther here. Yak Panzer is also an option. Not necessarily quite as effective in some ways, but there we go. Cancels the third Panther IV with the arrival of the IS-2 and goes for the Yak Panzer. Person would like to see a Panther. I think that would go great, but the Yak Panzer's not a bad choice either. IS-2 continuing forward here, shattering a tree in the process. Units getting bombarded here with the field gun, taking losses. Cblano moves ahead, fighting in the north here against Alastor's brought up a sniper of his own now all of a sudden. out of nowhere. In the south here, we got Jove's Panther 4. They're aggressive going in here for the T-70. Need to be careful doesn't get two sets because trying to manage, I think, a lot of things here. There you go, getting some hits here. We've got a lot of anti-tank fire there. Can fall down to half health. Getting buttoned up. Oh dear, Jove here could actually end up losing a Panther 4. He might have gotten a bit too confident here and not anticipate that Stu here make a full push. There we go, Panther 4 is down. Blow to the German Panzerwaffe. And in the centre here we got Jove's force ready to push it, possibly into the centre, but there's a lot of angry rations with a lot of artillery and a lot of big tanks. Well, small ones too, but you know. For an infantryman, any tank is big when you're on the wrong side of it. Second Panther 4 moving in there, need to be careful with that one. There we go, excellent hit, they obliterate several penal troopers, almost 600 of the squad. The other one forced to run away as well there, as their position is pretty much as abjectly terrible as it could be there. Holy hell! One hell of a hit there from the IS-2 immediately kills several Volksgrenadiers, causing a full right there from Joe, who's not going to have to try and stick around there to figure out what happens next. And Stuveh can now call in the ISU, Alastor calling in the Tiger tank. We are getting a lot of big armor on the field here. Tigers, IS-2s, and the ISU.
We are down to 100 points.
This is only going to be quite a challenge there. Whoever gets on the wrong end of that. The Yak Panther moves in, messes the IS-2, the Panther 4, the Lancer good hit there. We got the penal swing in there. Need to be careful there. One wrong movement and Joe could be short one Panther 4 at a time where he probably more than anything cannot afford to be short of a veteran Panther 4. Orbital on my way there for Jove, not a bad choice at all. As the Bronze Wing more armor. Cblano should be taking up after the IS-2. He needs that more armor to support it. T-35 in particular I think would be an excellent choice right about now for Cblano here. Yak Panther versus the IS-2 there. So far Yak Panther's holding up nicely. Shot fire, bounced. Panther Force supporting still. Behind his team with the Pims in the south. Stuveh needs to be careful. North is largely open, at least the victory point is. 75 left here by the way. ISUing, and we got air support here, now raining death down upon the centre. Things are heating up here, and there you go. Storm officer with infantry and the Panther 4 just laying down hot lead down the penal troopers. Aircraft shot down. MD-5 holding up here, back here, troops reinforcing. Tiger tank being fixed up there for Alastor. Got the IS-2 moving ahead here, halfway to death, but also halfway to veterans 1. Alastor coming to a Flak Panzer. Great. Jove and Stuveh so far still not taking up though. Stuveh does have double T-70s and Cblano's got one, but beyond that we're not really seeing a lot of armor. I would say Cblano easily has the resource for the Mechanized Armor Company and T-35s or H-35s. Almost got the machine gun house there. Poor Ludwig there stumbles over dead. The shockwave killed him. No pillar machine with the Tiger tank. This is a small opportunity after by Alastor. We got another fragmentation bombing run ready. We get a good time for that's great. And we got here assault artillery for Jove. Flak Panzer there arriving. Jove's Panzer 4 hits veteran 3, meaning veteran 4 and 5 are next. ISU hanging about here. 48 points left for the Russians. They certainly need to switch things up here a bit in terms of, I think, tactical approach. And again, they need to take and bring out armor. Instead, Cblano is now going for a third field gun. I definitely feel like triple field guns right now is not the best choice. He needs more tanks. Gun is in the middle of the open against the field gun there, close to being taken out here. Oh, goodness gracious, almost a full whop and 2 Grenadier squads. Nasty work there. North T-70 striking at the machine gun there for Alastor. It's going to take it out most likely here. Nasty little fiend strike there from Stuveh. Fast, swift, and furious. And we got Cblano there with an AC-7. We got the Osprey nearby. Tiger tank being repaired. Panther Force standing on watch in the south alongside the Yak Panther. Massive artillery barrage there. The smoke machine following up, but no follow-up. In the north here, we got a lot of T-70s just rolling about. Still no further take up there for the Red Army. Straight at the centre here, double T-70 ISU. There was the Pioneers haplessly praying for salvation. They're getting hammered with T-70 fire. Then we got the Pack forming in Osman as well here. A bit risky with the ISU about, which is I'm sure about to punish Alastor for extending, and there you go. Wham! You got also breakthrough text being used by Jove. Great stuff. In fact, it means it's actually used almost every ability except the Yak Tiger, which is only one of the more understandable for not using. Send the armored on here from Jove's MD34 supporting infantry push here with the officer. Very good, very good. Flak pounds on the scene as well, and we got a big sweep here from Cblano in the north with his field guns. T-70 is theoretically also there, but it's so far not following up. There guys, 2 going for it. Osman down there, bit of loss there for Alastor. He might want to consider some Stubes, and Panzers also taking up. Cblano, Stube is still not taking up. You got Mark Vehicle in the eyes too, but the Pack 40 is getting stunned by the Pack 40. Great stuff. Standoff over the centre here. South could be theoretically going to be opened up with a big push there from the Russians. IS-2 moving ahead again. We got bunkers up there as well to protect and against assault. We got artillery fire called in here. Most likely more field guns, something else. IS-2 almost taking out. Obviously, Blanco is able to salvage it. Really should be taking out. Gunleaders taking losses there. Guardsmen, people they're pushing forwards. Just complete oblivion here across the centre victory point. A madhouse of death and screams. IS-2 moving ahead here. 3 kills so far. High explosive rounds. IS-2 being repaired here. Shoots the Panzers. They're taking out a few hits there. And we got the Panther going up here from the southern flank. Very nice work there by Jove. Guardsmen teams with the defending. Got the IS-2 moving. Got another maximum on the way to Cblano. Yak Panzer being pushed back. Northern flank is still actually exposed. They're good push with the T-Sims collected a lot of damage. And right now, for example, the Birds moving in, they could probably clear out the Pack 40 pretty rapidly, moving the machine gun, which would be Alastor, I would say, rather undergunned. Oh dear, he needs to retreat those guardsmen there before they get wiped. But he's trying to keep the Panther 4 locked in place for as long enough so the IS-2 to take it out. But this is really, again, where tech up and more tanks, I think, would be much more serviceable for Cblano and Stube. But there he goes, almost got Jove's veterans. He's almost veteran 4, Panther 4 gets veteran 4. And blitzes away there, 47 kills. Absolute outstanding work here. Tiger tank there, 7 kills. Taking up there, very good, very good. Yak Panzer as the IS-2 shot bounce. IS-2 on the end does not bounce off the Yak Panzer's armour. IS-2 in the centre being, or north centre being blasted with the Pack 40 still raining down again. Nice barrage there from Cblano's field guns. One got wiped out in the centre alongside some other units. Their fragmentation bombing run again. Excellent work there by Alastor. Fighting continues to be intense here. Cblano and Stube though remain very much adamant in getting out any additional armed support the tanks, which makes it a bit weird that Cblano went for double fuel caches when he's not really making any sort of serious reason for them to actually have gone there in the first place. Feels a bit silly. IS-2 they're hammering away 9 kills. Veterans 1 slow approach, making 2 figure now wiped out, but the T-Stim and the IS-2 they're taking out the Pioneers one by one. Pack 40s there hammering away, backed up by the officers as well. I actually didn't know the Pack 40s could be buffed by the Storm officer, but there you go. Both packs wiped. Definitely a small victory there for Cblano and Stube. If they can just destroy them, or at least burn the fall into the hands of the Germans. Again, machine gun overtaken out here. Brutal fighting here. IS-2 will need to repair. Troops are repulsed. Nice work. 9 points left for the Russians, though they definitely need to tighten things up there hard. 27 kills in the IS-2. They're slowly approaching T2. Grenadiers need to be careful here against the IS-2. Pack destroyed. Grab the centre victory point there again. Almost got the MT-34 here. That would be a bit lost for Jove. Although as long as he's got the Panzer, it won't be too big. 48 kills. Mechanized enough for Jove with repair party. Second choice there by Jove. Excellent choice. Also, of course, it's up for the King Tiger if he ever gets a population for it, since he's always got lots of the resources. Alice has been suffering quite a bit here. This is Cblano. He's still not taking up, and neither is Stube. It certainly seems like they're very much sort of locked into a few syndrome there with the light vehicles and just big tanks. But no mediums, no T-34s, 6s or 85s. I do feel like this is a bit of an oversight there by the Russians. Bit of an oversight. But they currently got control of both victory points, on the centre and the north one. Should probably consider leaving up to defend the north, because right now, theoretically, if the Germans were to push fast enough, say Jove were to rush in, use breakthrough, could quickly cut it off, and they could grab it most likely before the Russians could respond, and that could actually lead to the Germans winning right then and there. But no, for reasons they're actually pushing hard for the centre. They're going to try and break through there. Bold, possibly overconfident move there by Jove and Alastor. 50 kills in that Panzer IV. Sturm Fox has been blasted here by the IS-2. 30 kills, slowly pushing their T2. Panzer IV running straight to the field gun and the ISU. But that's fine. High explosive rounds and won't have much of an impact though. Technically it would have, since it primarily fired those anyways, and the sheer explosive force was actually enough to just, cause massive spalling inside the tank. And for those who don't know, spalling is when like bits of the tank's arm on the inside basically flies off. That was really nasty. Yak Panzer shoots, misses. Tiger tank there, veterans 1, 14 kills, so nothing in comparison here with Cblano's IS-2. Finally though, Cblano tags up. Right when things are getting desperate, he realises, oh wait, I can go for tanks, except he never finished it. This silly bastard. He should finish it though. And probably stop spending manpower on field guns when he needs tanks, I think. All the victory point there, rush, but they go to defend it just in time, pretty damn close here. Trying to rush the southern one. We got some defenders here from Jove to defend that one. Would be an idea, I think, to rush in the T-70 to clear that out and grab it as well. Fixing up the ISU 152, clearing, rushing in on Red 72. Destroying a field gun, not a bad idea there. We also got a munitions cache up for Alastor, most likely I think to defeat his fragmentation bombing run ability. We could imagine he'll support Jove maybe. IS-2 hanging back here now, is actually leaving a machine gun and an IS to defend the northern victory point. I feel like that's a bit of a reaction, of course. Once it brings in more tanks, great, but he still has yet to finish it. Cblano, come on. Into the IS-2's line of fire here. Closing in on victory 2 already, very good there for Cblano. Machine gun white, but there you go, Pims were flanking up, but sadly no anti-tank satchels. Fragmentation bomb run in there, guys, 2 going for the Tiger tank. Field gun hit as well here. Alastor could likely end up losing his Tiger tank, was not careful, though of course there's a small chance he gets Cblano's IS-2 with blitzes at the correct time, but he does split, he had blitzes to get away rather than try and take out the IS-2, certainly understandable though. Also we're going to be caught by the Air Force there as Cblano calls it in to prevent any sort of breakthrough there in the south. More rash, but we got the Panzer IV moving in. Gosh, we're about to get murdered here. 57 kills, almost ace level Panzer IV. And there we go, about to get wiped out. Kaput. I should have seen repairs there, suffer pain, but I have to say it's a bit close to the front line. He's finally finished it. He can begin going for T-35, so T-35s either way he should be going for that soon, and Stubbe really should be going for something as well there, like tag out, get the T-35s out, or the T-34s and 6s out, but I'd probably recommend him T-35s. Either way, armor's needed.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Fighting from the north here, rushing for the south here. Stu the respects. Reacts quickly, but there you go, we got the officer there pushing away the Strafniki using the force retreat ability. Excellent work there by Jove, excellent work. We got 20 kills on that guy. 7 points to the left here, and of course now they have to defend both points more actively. Again, the way they're playing though again makes it easier for the Germans just to find enough time to sort of hit one point with just sufficient force, that way it's lost before they can react fully to either point. So then again, I think the issue in the ration is just not taking out fast enough and going for medium armor to back up the heavy things. Definitely feels like quite an oversight there. Targeting eventually 2, but the IS-2's already been there for some time now. Panzer for Alastor's, but I also called in a Panther. Not bad, not bad. Maximum reinforcing. Quiet here on the things here. I think the Germans trying to set up for the next big assault. They might be trying to do some light reconnaissance, trying to figure out where the Russians are. Well, so say weakest in terms of concentration, then rush it, and that way try and gain at least one more victory point. So that way win the fight. The southern one, there's actually quite open. So if they're actually a good rush from the Russians, could clear that out. Except they now lost the T. So Cblano finally going for the T-45, but I would say that is really late. NOTStuveh is yet to take out this. That's definitely less than amazing. 60 kills on that Panther. Well, that one is doing amazing. Where they were getting bad enough, taking heavy fire there from the tank rifles, but the Panther does not care. Oh, he's going to have to care because he's about to get hit with an anti-tank satchels. Would be an absolutely terrible way to lose this almost ace Panzer IV. There we go. He hits the ace level. 62 kills. Amazing work there by doing that Panther. Amazing work. Got the Panther there flanking. Oh, the Yak Panther flanking the eyes too. I thought that group with the Panther. Well, if my brain wanted to believe it was that. But there you go, Russian centre victory point there. The Russians are sort of too thinly sort of spread out. They cannot immediately muster the force to counter him, particularly since they lack tanks, which would be great here. So that looks like GG here. Jove and Alastor in the end do win. They do win. A nasty fight right here in Vaux Farmlands with some nice sights like the Ace Panzer IV and the Sturm sector, so great usage. Panzer and much more. Plus, of course, a lot of heavy armour. I should have gaining veterans, or I should gain veterans too, but oh wait, too late, game over. A spectacular fight here with a lot of bloodletting between 4 very skilled players right here on Vaux Farmlands. But then I would say the Russians made a mistake, which is they were way too slow in getting out Mechanized Armor Company for the big tanks, and they should have brought out something sooner there to back up the ISU and the IS-2. That was definitely a bit too much for us. And there was the Germans, I would say, overall had good medium and heavy arms sort of working together. They in particular, Jove made great work at the Panzer IV. Also think some better field awareness, better control of the fuel initially, of course, just better movement, which I think allowed the Germans to just slowly build up an advantage. And again, the Russians, I would say, failure to bring up medium armor really also cost them. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode of, well, the Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Bye.